everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about me turning 21. Now if you're new here, consider not subbing the bell. So I mentioned my birthday casually in a couple of videos, but I kind of want to talk about the fact that I'm turning 21 in the next few days. And I'm actually going to be ranking the things that you could do at 21 from worst to best and how likely I'm going to be doing them, and I kind of want to talk about it. So yeah, it's a good start. So yeah, I'm recording this on the 13th and my birthday is going to be on the 15th. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I have a lot of stuff planned. I'm going to Kentucky and I won't be able to record in the setup, so I'm just going to do it now. So I'm basically ranking it from worst to best. And the number 7 spot is smoking cigarettes / vaping. Now, I know that these are kind of two different things, but I kind of see them kind of similar because I'm never going to do it. I feel like it used to be with like vaping that it was a way for people to get off cigarettes, but I feel like especially with vaping, like it's become kind of like a trend, and like they have like all these flavors and like different types of vapes and stuff like that, especially with the vapes with like the screens and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, that's a little overboard. The other side of the coin is cigarettes. Cigarettes I don't get even more than vapes. Because cigarettes, like everyone knows that cigarettes are bad for you. They have been proven time and time again that they cause cancer, and at least with vaping it's still kind of in like the earlier kind of phase where like they're just now figuring out what it could do to your body. Like everyone knows that cigarettes are horrible for you, and like I have never thought one time in my entire life that I've thought, oh, maybe I could smoke a cigarette. Ever. It's just like, because by the time I was born, like everyone knew that cigarettes were bad. Those two side by side, like I'm just like, I will never do it. Like if I really vape or smoking cigarettes, or I would be in the lowest point of my life, like rock bottom. But I'm not gonna do it, so. Number 6 is smoking weed. So, this is becoming a lot more common, and it's like kind of on the rise in the last few years. And I'm not as against it as I am with smoking cigarettes or vaping, but like I feel like I probably won't do it because I take a ton of medications, like I take like Trintellix and all those type of antidepressant pills. And like most of the things on this ranking is kind of affected by the pills and stuff like that I take. So yeah, so smoking weed, I feel like is probably not gonna happen. Like smoking weed, like I could maybe see myself doing it to do like calm some stress, but I just hate the smell. I hate the smell of weed. Like, I don't know why I hate it so much. I think it just reminds me of a skunk, because when I went to Pier 39 and I did the whole video, I really had a good time at Pier 39, but it's really smelled like weed there because everyone was smoking it. I feel like that's kind of holding me back a little bit, is the smell is awful. But yeah, it's more likely than cigarettes or vaping, but I just don't think I'm gonna do it. Number 5 is edibles. So I know this is kind of similar to smoking weed because it's marijuana, but edibles are starting to become a little bit more likely for me to do because like they reduce stress and they don't tear up your lungs. And like I feel like edibles could calm me down in some instances, but I just probably won't go out of my way to buy edibles. I've actually heard from my sister that the process of buying marijuana is kind of weird in the United States. I've heard that they take you in this empty room, they check your ID. I think it's actually police officers that check your ID. They go to another room and then they ask what type of drugs you want. Like, it's kind of a weird process. So, like, I don't really know if I want to go through that process to get drugs, like marijuana and stuff like that. But edibles are a little bit more likely for me to do because, like, it reduces stress and it doesn't put a lot of bad stuff in your lungs. So yeah, that's number 5. Number 4 is casino gambling. So, now is the stuff that is gonna become a little bit more likely, but I feel like I could maybe go to a casino, but with casinos, like, I basically have been gambling, kind of, with kid casinos, which are basically arcades. As a kid, like, I was so interested in the arcade, and it really was something that I was really fascinated by. But nowadays, like, the only time I really go to arcade is for a YouTube video. or if we're stopping by near one. Because I just really did not control my money well when I went to the arcade. Like, Dave & Buster's was the biggest culprit of that. And, like, Dave & Buster's is pretty expensive. So, like, I feel like my gambling addiction has actually gone way better compared to, like, 5 years ago. I feel like if I just casually, like, maybe, like, once or twice a year or something like that, I could go to a casino. But it wouldn't be a regular thing. And, like, I feel like that's kind of what I don't want to fall into that trap, is that I don't want to rely on that to win money. Because the odds are against people. Like, the house almost always wins. And, like, I feel like what I would try to do is I would try not to do slot machines as much, because even though that's the most famous thing, I feel like. Fun fact, I actually did do a slot machine, or I played a slot machine in St. Thomas. The legal age to gamble is 18 there. And I did that, and I didn't like it. But it has been a couple of years, so, like, I feel like at some point in my life I might go to a casino. But here's the thing that's very important. I can't bring my card. I mean, I know I just said that my gambling addiction has gotten better, but I just can't bring my card. Because, like, I gotta have a specific amount of cash, maybe leave the card somewhere else. And I'm like, okay, this is the exact amount that I'm gonna spend, and that's it. That's what it has to be like. So, yeah, so casino, I feel like could happen. It's a little bit more likely compared to the other choices on here. So, yeah. Number 3 is drinking. So, I feel like I could drink a couple alcoholic beverages, and actually I think that's probably one of the first things I'm gonna do when I go to Kentucky and I'm celebrating my birthday this Saturday, which is the 15th. My mom and dad were interested in me getting something along the lines of like hard lemonade, because I have tried alcohol in St. Thomas, which that actually was legal in for 18-year-olds too to drink, and I didn't like it. But I feel like I just haven't found the right beverage yet, but I gotta be careful about something. So yeah, I mentioned earlier that like I take a bunch of medications, and I know that for some medications that it doesn't mix well with alcohol, and if I do drink alcohol, I feel like I gotta have like 2 drinks max. I don't want to over rely on it, and I don't want to become, in the worst case scenario, an alcoholic. So like I feel like I gotta balance it right if I am gonna drink, but it is more likely compared to the other choices on here, because like I actually really want to go to some bars. Like my sister and her friends go to bars sometimes, and I feel like also like it would be like kind of more of a social event. I mean, I don't really want to go clubbing, because like the clubs are probably one of my least favorite environments. Like the lack of sensory environment is something that I probably won't like. I feel like it's more like casual laid back bars I could probably make some friends, because I haven't been doing that great recently, so I feel like now is the time for me to make friends and stuff like that. So I feel like drinking is something that I probably will do, but I probably will do it in moderation. So number 2 is voting. Now, I know this is technically not 21, you could do it at 18, but I was not able to vote in the last election, which was 2020. I just feel like the act of voting I'm excited for, but not the candidates, because I don't want to talk politics too much. But the fact that we have Joe Biden and Trump again, it's just like, I can't believe we can't choose anybody else and we have to choose between these guys again. That's the one thing that I'm really annoyed by. Actually, I will say this, I'm not voting for Trump, but like I am gonna be voting. Just the act of voting and being involved in it is something I'm excited for, but it's something where I feel like I'm not excited to vote for a candidate, I'm excited just the act of voting. This will be my first election that I will be able to vote, so I'm actually pretty interested in that, even though the candidates are awful. But yeah, so that's just my opinion. And number 1 is renting a hotel room. So I will use this a lot probably, because like I have been to some events that I was not able to rent a hotel. Like when I went to Worlds of Fun last year with my sister, she had to rent it, and because she was 21 at the time. Now that in the next few days I'll be able to rent a hotel room. It's going to be so useful in case I'm going to be driving anywhere and I need to rent somewhere. With all these coaster events I'm going to be going to, including the upcoming event in Six Flags St. Louis called Daredevil Days, and I will be able to drive up there because it's basically like a straight road, a straight highway from here. Because my mom is a little strict on where I might drive. And actually, recently, I did get in a car crash, and my car's completely totaled. Everyone's fine, though. I did collide with another car, and I'm expecting to get a newer car next week or something like that. So, yeah, I didn't want to do its own video on that because, like, I was still in shock. Like, you know, like how your body just kind of freezes and you don't know what to do? I didn't want to do a video immediately, like, after I was scared. So, I feel like if I rent a hotel room, it probably will be distances in places like Six Flags St. Louis where I could just go back from there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for the support recently, especially on the Red Lobster video, and I kind of wanted to talk about this today. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.